See a thumbs up. All right. Um, oh, here we go. I'll do this here. We got people here. There he is. Is that everybody? Is Justin in there too? I can't. Oh, there he is. Oh, there we go. Yep, it's hard for me to see. Justin's in there too. Yeah, we got people online. You guys are up there. That's why we're craning our necks here. So,
I wonder who has it coldest right now.
yeah.
Does anyone have snow?
Who's got snow? Anybody got snow?
Country, aren't they?
Oh, I see
really?
Kimberly, Jessica, and let's see. Is the storm hitting you, Jessica? You're in Colorado, is that right, Jessica?
I'm in Virginia.
Oh, you're on East Coast. And Kimberly, where are you?
We're in Missouri.
Oh, Missouri.
Okay, all right. So what's the temperature like? How much snow do you both have?
I don't know what the temperature is right now. Lately, it's been single digits and teens ish. It's been really cold. And we have about a half a foot on the ground right now.
It's in the 20s and it varies, but the snow ha was melting as of since this weekend. It's snowing, but we're supposed to get snow again this weekend. So I don't know really how much. Virginia's crazy. 1 minute it's going to be like 2 feet, and the next minute it's like an inch. So
Okay,
I
all
don't
Where
know.
are
right.
you from in Virginia?
What?
Where are you from? Are you on the East Coast there
I'm in
or?
the peninsula area, Newport News.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, Newport News.
I'm
All
Mhm.
right.
from Virginia, but the other end,
Oh,
far other end.
all right.
My son is at Liberty in Virginia. And also, I'm such a baby that I haven't gone outside today. So it is 28, not in the teens today. So
Okay.
that's better. I'm still not going out though.
Yeah, I went outside. I went outside when it was in the 50s here.
Yeah.
It was like 50 when I went to Washington. 40 something.
No. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
spoiled.
40 something.
Hey, I used to live in South Dakota, the coldest winter I ever had. South Dakota, Alaska, and also Canada. Coldest winter I had was 39 below zero. And it was absolutely blowing storm, and the wind chill was minus 89.
Really?
And I had to drive a kid, a Mormon kid, to meet his sister halfway between where we were and where he lived, out in the middle of nowhere. And I didn't have a cell phone because we didn't have cell. That was back then, and it was like they were just coming out. I couldn't afford one, but I was like, I hope my car makes it because if it doesn't, I don't.
That's
So anyway,
Yeah, that's
but
cool.
yeah, so I'm familiar with the chill. By the way, once it gets down to about 10 below zero after that, it's all the same. Okay. It's just like, oh, I feel dead, you know.
Yeah.
So dead is dead, right? So, but no, I feel for you. 89 inches of snow I had to shovel last winter there. I have not missed it.
Oh,
I have not missed it at all. So, because then my car was parked on the side. There's three cars, and this one guy, you have to understand, I was a pastor. Okay. Okay. So this guy comes out, he shoveled his car and he took all the snow from his car and put half behind mine and half behind the other car.
oh,
And I walk out there and he was so proud of himself. Hey, I shoveled my girlfriend's car out. And I'm looking at the snowplow has already gone by. I've got a 3 foot pile plus his. It was a lot of snow. And I'm holding my shovel and I'm just having visions of swinging at him. And I'm like, oh, dear Jesus. Am I really still a pastor? Oh, I was so mad. I just went, that's nice of you. And I just turned. I was so upset. Oh man. So, but it was just snow. So,
that one through.
well,
I
yeah,
wasn't thinking.
yeah.
I'm being too nice.
Yeah. So I'm still mad. No. It was just shoveling. It's okay. It's not a big deal. At the time, it felt a lot bigger than it was. Okay. Well, I hope everyone's doing well and staying warm as possible. And let's get started here. Oh, he brought one. Morning. There we go.
Got one.
Yeah. Oh, there you
I
go.
gotta buy some of those.
So bad.
I didn't even know they existed.
Well, let's see here. Let's open in prayer. Lord, we thank you very much for the time, but Lord, we are very concerned about our nation. Beliefs matter, worldviews matter, and right now in the news, there's a lot of things going on. Right now, primarily in Minnesota, and quite frankly, some people are mental whack jobs, and that leads them to go out and do things that are just really stupid. And we ask God for your wisdom to help Christians grow on that and do less stupid things. We all do stupid things. I mean, hey, so we're all human. But we want to do less stupid things, Lord. And we want to encourage people to do more wise things. Even if they're not a Christian, just living a quasi-wise life would be good. The impact is potentially immeasurable. Other lives are at stake, but we ask God for your wisdom to be able to understand the Word of God so that we can do life well, better, refine it, and teach well. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. Yeah, I don't know. My wife asked me, "What's the answer?" And I gave her the pat answer. I said, the repentance of sin, following Jesus, right? I mean, it seems so trite, and in one sense, it is, and she knows that. That's not what she was talking about. But what's going to happen with everything? And I'm like, well, it's going to get worse. That's probably what's going to happen, unless there's a revival. We can pray for a revival. That's fair. But I don't know. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, adjectives. Let's review adjectives briefly. Oh, let's look at that assignment. Some people were wondering about the diagramming, and a lot of people did really well. I just wanted to make sure we're doing just the diagram here real quick. So we have there we go. Clear that. We have ha heteros, anthropos, akui, ton lagon, tu, theou, and te, klesia. So we have the man, and it's the other man. So for heteros there, in that position there, is the other man. Here's the word of God in the church. So we have the diagramming to specify this. The man, here's the word. That's the heart of the sentence. The heart of the sentence, what's being said is the man here's the word. Okay. But it was the other man. Which man? It's the other one. Not there's two here, not him. It's the other man. We're not that guy over there. Here's the word. Where was he when he heard it? In the church. En te ecclesia. Okay. And then we have tu theou. So it's the word of God. So which word did he hear? The word of his parents, the word of the teacher, the word of the synagogue? Nope, it's the word of God. So it further specifies which word. Okay. All right. Are we good on that? I thought it was mostly a pretty straightforward diagramming this time. And I've been nice to you, but we're going to be starting participles tonight. And so we were actually talking about those today here at the seminary a little bit. Okay, let's review very briefly here. Let's review adjectives. Adverbs are pretty straightforward. They don't decline at all. An adverb is an adverb is an adverb, and it modifies typically adverbs. But it can modify verbs. Verbs are adverbs. Now with adjectives, I've been saying this like a bunch of different weeks. Adjectives. How many what kinds of forms do they come in? Or what's different between an adjective and a noun? I guess that's what I'm asking. Nouns come in one what? Gender. But adjectives come in all three genders. Okay. So nouns are limited to one gender. That's it. That's that a masculine noun is a masculine noun is a masculine noun. No matter how it's used, it's a masculine noun. So even if it's misused, it's still a masculine noun. That's the way it's done in Koine Greek. An adjective, on the other hand, is flexible, like the article. And like the article, the Greek adjective comes in each gender, all three, number, singular plural, and case, all of them. It's as flexible as the article. So you're going to see adjectives that are masculine in one sentence and masculine singular, and then another sentence that could be a feminine plural. And one after that, they could be neuter, whatever, because that's what they do. They are flexible that way. So that's just how they work, or how they are formed, so they can work in a variety of ways. Now, with that said, there are three main uses of an adjective. The attributive use, where it gives its attribute to another substantive or noun or something that functions as a noun. By the way, adjectives can give their attribute to participles. Okay, you can modify. We're going to see we can modify participles with an adjective or a noun. Participles are really flexible. All right, but an adjective, attributive adjective, it just gives its attribute. So if you look at this, you have ha agathos, ha logos. Whereas you can have the word the good the word, which is the good word, or ha logos, ha agathos is the good word. And you could also have a good word versus the good word, agathos logos or logos agathos. That's about page 179. Right next to it. That's the first attributive, that's the attributive position. Okay. There are any questions on the attributive position, where the adjective is giving its attribute to a noun or a substantive? We good with that? That's what they do.
I think the only thing is like more, and I'm still a little confused. Is like how to tell the three between the three attributive, substantive.
Subset.
Right.
Okay.
Because that's where I was like, I had to like study it, but
Right.
like, and I still was like, I think I got it, but then I was
No,
like,
no, I know
okay,
that
this is or not.
you understand it, but you don't have it.
Yeah.
I get it. No, I understand it. Oh, I understand that, but I don't get it. No, it's fun. Or I get it, but I don't understand. I know, I get that. Yeah, no problem. So notice for the attributive position,
Mhm.
typically one of two things is true. Okay. Well, the most common will be what you see the first. Okay,
Mhm.
where there's going to be an article.
Mhm.
Okay, and notice this ha agathos, and let's say you notice that the second ha has a brackets.
Mhm.
Okay, imagine it's gone. There's no second article there. What you have is article, adjective, noun, and so that the adjective would be in between the article and the corresponding noun to say I'm with this guy. Don't take me outside. I'm with him. So they put it inside the article with the noun, so they go together. Okay. Another way of doing it, a very common way,
Yeah,
is
and I'm seeing that
the
now.
double article.
Yeah.
Each one has an article. Okay, that's the most common. Now, if you look over in the substantive one,
Mhm.
you'll notice that ha agathos, same word, but what doesn't it have?
With a noun, blah, blah,
A
blah.
noun to go with it. So it is a substantive.
Okay.
That's it. So those come together. Now, but that part's good.
Mhm.
And then they add the third one. It's like, and it's like somebody walking up to your card pieces and going boom, like that. I know, I get it. So the predicate use. Here you have the article, noun, adjective. Notice the adjective is not inside, in between the article and the noun. Nor does the adjective have its own article. So it's the word implicate is the implied verb good. The verb might be stated, but that's it. That's the ordering of it.
Mhm.
So if you have an article, noun, and an adjective by itself, you've got the predicate use. If you have the article, adjective, and no corresponding noun, substantival use. And if you have the article, adjective, noun, or article, noun, article, adjective, it's true.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just looking at it a little closer.
No,
like,
no, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
totally, and go ahead and circle them in your book or write a note on the side going, all right, this one, this one, this one. Because those need to be kept distinct. Okay. Okay. Well, that's a brief look at anything else about adjectives?
Yeah, so with the predicate adjective, when we're diagramming it, do we like say the sentence is just like ha agathos logos is you mentioned that
That's the good
the
word. Ha agathos logos is the good word. Go ahead.
yeah or for the predicate uh
That
adjective
would be
form
ha logos agathos.
yes for that uh when we diagram it, what because the verb is implied,
Right.
how exactly would we diagram that?
Oh, sorry. Just like that. The word is, or you could put, if you wanted to put an Eston, you could. Okay.
Okay, so we're just adding in the implied s then.
Yeah, you can do that in brackets. So you know
Okay,
it's not in a text. You can do that or put an X. Because
okay,
it doesn't mean much else other than the linking verb.
okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
it
cool.
doesn't mean here's, oh, and this here. Okay. This here says this is a linking verb. That's what that means. Okay.
Okay.
So technically, if you did this, you could, I guess you could do this. I don't recommend it. Well, it would be that would say there's an implied verb in context. It's not a linking verb. The word was the word was preached, well, good. Agathos could be well or something like that. Good or well. And so agathon or maybe something like I would change. I'd change that. But the point being here, this would say, hey, you have a non-linking verb here. But what you would want to do is put in context what that Greek verb is. You would take it from a previous verse and whatever the implied verb is, put it in if it's not a linking verb. This here, right here, is very common. That's normal. That just happens like every other page in Paul, So having an implied estimate happens a lot. Does that help, Brian?
Yes. And then just to kind of clarify, it's kind of like with the English language, we're not going to get a sentence that just says like the purple jacket. There's going to be other words attached to the sentence, correct? Or
No.
can the predicate adjective stand alone as a full sentence?
Oh, I see what you mean.
Like the substantival use the good man, is just the article and the adjective.
Like
Because the man is implied.
it's the substantival use. Oh, will we have just the substantival use by itself?
So like when we're getting the predicate adjective that says like for ho logos agathos saying the word is good,
Right.
uh what can that be a standalone sentence or is there going to or are we going to find like other words like in that sentence?
If it's a quote, I'm here thinking about Romans. What did we look at before? It's like the word is the commandment is holy and righteous and just. It says that. Now he's talking about other things, but where was that? Wasn't that Romans? Remember the Romans 1? But I mean, there's other words around because it's in a context, but it is its own, it's a full sentence in its own right. If you're asking, is that an independent clause? Yes. That could be an independent clause.
Okay, okay. That was what I was asking. I
Okay,
just kind of forgot what the what word was for that type of sentence.
No problem at
An
all.
independent clause, yeah.
No problem. Yes, that can be an independent clause. But please remember that independent clauses usually come in context, and even though they are independent clauses, they're within a context. They're not out of that context. So, but we can talk about them that way. Okay. So, yeah, good question. Are we good with that?
I have one.
Yes, sir.
With the predicate usage,
Yes.
how often is the implied linking verb past tense? And
I don't know.
but we do that. Does instead of saying is, we say was. That just get that from the context.
Oh, so implied aorist or something like that, or perfect tense, as opposed to implied present tense. The only ones that come to mind are implied present tense, but that
Really?
does, I don't want to, I've not researched it out to find and looked at them. I don't know. But you could do that. You have a Bible program. You have Logos. You could do that, and find out how
So I'm
many.
just kind of thinking like every time we see that
Right.
configuration of word construction of words,
Yeah.
we're most likely going to just put is or something in there, but would be move us to make sure to look at the
Right,
previous
right.
unit to see if
It
they're
is.
talking about something.
Commonly going to be
Yeah.
present. I mean, the ones that come to my mind, a number of examples would be present tense, like
Yeah.
the word is this, and yeah. So, but I wouldn't venture to say it's
Yeah, confine it just to that.
right. So, but you're talking about ones that are implied. So, right. So, yeah.
Because
Okay.
I think it says here, it says look, the verb is was supplied in the English translation, although sometimes a form of the verb I mean is present. So according to this, it's saying like sometimes in the predicate usage, they will supply the verb in the sentence.
Where are you at? I'm sorry. What page?
Right under the predicate use,
Predicate use.
where it's got the, it's the second paragraph after that little diagram with the arrows.
Slight, although sometimes a form of the word enemy is present, often it is simply implied, right? Yeah.
So I guess maybe sometimes it would be an implied past tense verb or something, aorist verb instead. Or not implied, but it would be there if it was.
Well, when it's talking about is here, that's talking about present tense, and
Yeah.
me is present tense. But I am not saying I'm not saying it won't be present tense.
Hmm.
I'm saying I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't looked that up, that specific question. So
Sorry, yeah.
no, it's not. No, it's a fine question. It's just not one that I have looked up, and so it does make me want to know, but I can't do that right now. So that's curiosity. The same thing that killed the cat. So all right. Okay. So we really need to talk about participles here, okay? All right. I hope I have you effectively concerned, because that means you'll pay attention. This last weekend, I was helping, it's Derby race season, okay? And it's a big deal at the Crocker household, all right? Oh, yeah. Oh, big deal. Oh, man, we've been talking about it for 6 months, because Derby's cars, my daughter, she's done really well. My son, he's done things, and now I'm entering in the race, and we have some friends that came over. They brought their sons over. And one of the relatives was helping out, and it was a new process for them, which is fine. So they said, "Hey, can you help them out?" And they had a lot to do. It's like, oh, okay, because they didn't know what to do, and that's just fine. Well, I had to get them to use a router, okay, and I wanted them to pay attention because they're young men and boys, and this router blade's up there, and I said that router blade will rip your finger off and it won't care. So let's be careful. I don't want to do this. I started with a great fear factor. Good, I've got your attention. I don't want to do this. Okay, then you're done and you won't have a race. You have to do it. Oh, I got excellent. I've got you. Good. And they did it. I mean, I helped them, I was there, but I did it. And hey, Stubby. No, everybody worked out just fine. It's not a problem. But I want you guys to realize we've got stuff going on here. Participles. Okay, participles. Let me okay. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this my way. Being the loving professor that I am, I have provided for you a cheat sheet on participles. Okay. And I would still need to tweak a couple things, but it's pretty good. And I've had other Greek teachers look at it and say, "Wow, can I have that?" So it's okay. All right, you'll survive with those. So tell me about the adjective first. What are the three main characteristics of an adjective?
Attributed.
Okay, that's the usages. I'm talking about attributes. What characterizes an adjective?
Gender, number, and case.
Oh.
Gender, number, and case. All right. Gender is all three: masculine, feminine, neuter. Number is both of them, one or two. Case, you know about the cases, right? Nominative through accusative, right? So you've got gender, number, and case for adjectives. All genders, all number, all cases. The participle is a verbal adjective. So guess what's true of the participle? Every gender, number, and case. If you remember, the participle is a verbal adjective, think of it partly as an adjective. Every attribute of an adjective. Yes, it can be used just like an adjective. Yes, substantive, attributive. There's a variety of use, and there's more. So, all right. But it's a verbal adjective. Okay. Now that means it has verbal characteristics. It has tense. Now this always bothered. What they do in here bothers me, and I looked it up in another one too, and I was right. I'm glad I was right, but they did it better, and so anyway, I'm going to show you what bothers me. They have tense. There's only 4 tenses, I think. Yeah, 4 tenses that comes in. Tense, voice, and aspect of, yeah, or they'll actually say in their mood. All right. It doesn't help when you're teaching the hardest part of Greek to confuse students. By mood, you only say, get this. I'm not kidding. I'm not making this up. P, it's a participle. That's all. That's what the mood. So when I talk about tense, voice, and mood for participles, the mood is just participle. Okay. It drives me up a wall that they do it that way. So what you're looking for a participle are 5, not 6 things. All right. So if you have a participle, you already know it's a participle, and that goes in the mood slot. Okay. So you look for tense, voice, gender, number, case. All 5 things. You have to find them. Okay, now, so if you parse a participle, you must not miss any of these. Okay, you must slow down. The thing about translating participles is whoa Nelly, you got to slow down. Okay, you got to slow down and cross your I's and dot your T's. If you're looking to go through it quickly, good luck. All right. So you'll see why. There's a kicker I'm going to tell you at the end, and it's the one that is always a head scratcher. That's okay. We'll make it. The P participle, you're going to have to put that in. So if you have a present passive participle, that's what you would put PPP. The third P is passive. Okay. If you have a present active participle, it's PAP. Plus gender, number, and case. So it might be masculine, plural, nominative, or it could be accusative, whatever. You want to put all these down. So you're going to have these 6 numbers in this order. Not numbers, these three spaces in this order. That's how you parse them. Okay. That's how you parse participle. So a participle is a verbal, tense and voice, adjective, gender, number, and case. That's it. We're good. Simple. Okay. All right. Any questions on it at that point? Okay, good. We're done. Okay, no, not quite. Okay. So, at this point, when you do this, you will, when you parse it, you're going to find the lexical form. And trust me when I say this, do the following. Give a basic ING initial Gerber's baby food translation. Talking, walking, praying, hiking, whatever it is, preaching, just do that. Okay. So in English, ing usually is in reference to participles. That's the English version of a participle. There's participles, there's gerunds, there's a variety of things. Anyway, but for our purposes, initial translation. The reason is this. I'll just tell you right up front the reason is. One, that should tip you off to there's nothing else you're going to initially translate ing other than participles. Nothing. Okay. So I looked, or I guess I was looking. I guess you could do that, but just one word of looking. Just one word. That's it. You're not going to say I. You're not going to do this. It's just looking. Okay. And so you don't have. Notice there's no person here, so you don't know if it was he was looking or she was. You don't know that, so you don't put that in. It's just looking, and that tips you off. This is a participle that tells me I need to go through a certain steps. And I have a loving professor who provided a list of all those steps. So I'm going to pull out that sheet of paper and abide by those steps because I don't know better than to not do that. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. So that's what you're going to do. And that's going to tip you off. Like you can do all the translation work, but when it comes to the participle, you've got to slow down and do it right. We're going to get to what that means here in a minute. So here's what you're going to do. Tense, voice, mood is participle, gender, number, and case. Abbreviations as needed, ing ending. That's your first step. First 2 steps, I guess. Any questions so far? Okay. All right. So now let's do some things. I have, we're looking at present tense participles right now. So what I'm going to do is we're going to look at, it's always like, do you teach people how to swim and then go slowly go in the water, or you just go over the deep end and just shove them in? Well, I'm going to shove you. So I'm going to give you a bit of an overview here. So you see what's going on. And this is on this file is on this week's course, okay? So notice I tell you a participle, come on, is a verbal adjective, tense, voice, gender, number, and case. Now, tense, voice, mood would be participle, okay? But this is actually what it has in it right there. Tense, voice, mood. There we are. They come in one of four tenses, okay? Present, aorist, perfect, or future. They can be used as an adverb, adverbally, where it modifies a verb. These are specialized uses. There's attributive, there's substantive, there's something called a genitive absolute. I know there's a periphrastic participle. I know that means nothing to you, but it will when we get done later. What can a participle have or be modified by? Another substantive, a direct object, an adjective, an adverb, a prepositional phrase, other participles, subordinate clauses. They can use everywhere, okay? Participles are used everywhere for everything. They're excessively flexible, okay? It's like Gumby, right? The participle is the Gumby of the Greek. And then I give you examples on how to diagram them, okay? So I've provided a participial flow chart. What we're going to be looking at right now is only this left side, right over here. You see that? Yeah, left side. Don't look over here, okay? And don't look down here. We're only talking about right here, okay?
Sorry, I looked over there.
Oh, he looked
All over now.
He looked. I'm telling you, don't look. Don't look at Methuselah. No, I say so anyway. Then there's a way to translate participles, and I give you this translation thing to follow. Okay. All right. And I give you an example. This one here is a with attributive use. This one is adverbial use. And this one is the part of the substantival use. Okay. Participles are a classic example of the fallacy of a word literal translation. There is no greater example in the New Testament of the false idea of a word literal translation from Greek to English. It is impossible if you want to have any meaning to the text. I mean, sure, you could put down one word, but it's not going to make sense. Many places it just won't make any sense at all. So it takes sometimes up to 5 words to translate a participle in English. Okay, it often takes 3. Okay, 2, 3, or 4. Well, mostly at least 2 or 3. Sometimes 4 and 5. Okay, all right. So this whole idea that's running around, and I just told one of my coworkers today, the professor here, said, I think I'm going to shoot a video on this because it keeps popping up. What I want a word literal translation of the Bible. Well, it doesn't exist other than you read. And if you want one, read it in Greek. That's it, or and Hebrew. Other than that, you're out. So translation wise, it's not possible. So, all right. Let me look at something here. if you look, yeah, if you look on page 183, all it's doing there is giving you the forms of the present active masculine participle. Okay? And then present middle passive. They come in a variety of forms. Look at yeah. Ha luon. Okay. So luon is the present active participle, masculine nominative. I would say singular. What was it? Singular nominative, singular masculine nominative, or masculine nominative singular. Nominative would be last. Masculine singular nominative. So that nominative one, I like to have nominative last because that tells you how to function a sentence of being how it relates. The other ones are important, but not as important. So and notice how it is. It's the ha and the luon. It's the one loosing. Now that is a, notice it says possible substantival translation provided. It's not necessarily accurate. I'm going to show you why. Okay. Now that's why they say this is one possible translation.
Possibles in italics too.
What's that?
Impossible, they even got in italics, like.
Yeah, they do. Right. Oh no, because yeah. All right. So what you have is a middle present active participle, present middle passive participle. That's in the middle. The menos. So you have luomenos, luomeno, luomeno, luomenon. That's a key that it's passive, middle passive. And then if you have just the straight present active participle, look at the last one. Here it is luon, luontas, luonti, luonta. Here's the feminine, luusa, luuses, luuse, luusan. Those should look familiar. The a, ace, aon. What's that familiar? What's that coming from? Remember? Those endings. Lusa, and you have
That's the adjective.
adjective, and also the first declension noun. If it follows a certain ending, it goes from alpha to eta to alpha, and that's how it goes. But then you have the neuter on, os, onti, on. Well, it'd be ontos, onti, onton. Then you have the plural ontes, onton, usin, ontos. As far as ending, lucai, alpha, iota, luson. Notice the lu on, yeah, okay, lucise and lusas, and then the plural neuter, luanta, and the luonton for the masculine and neuter are identical. Okay, context tells you what it is. Lusin, basically they're identical in the masculine and neuter plural. Luontas, the sigma, this time it goes, well, the sigma goes with a plural masculine accusative. Those are the charts. If you go on the next page, you have the present middle passive participle. I'm going to let you look at those and familiarize yourself with those because I want to talk about how we can go through what I want, but you wouldn't understand how the participle is used. That's my task. Okay. My task is to show you how the participle is being used and how to translate it. So, we're present. There's present ame participle. Yeah, that's important. Look page 186. The attributive use. The attributive use is very similar, actually, basically identical to, but very similar to the attributive adjective. Notice you have a ha, pater, ha, blapon. The blapon, that's a participle. Seeing. But it's the father who sees, or the father, basically the one who sees. It's just shorter to say the father who sees in English. I would translate that initially the father, the seeing, okay, to tip off, got a participle, because I haven't showed you everything how to translate it yet. You don't know how we got to that translation, but it tips you off. Okay, I've got to take any consideration. It's a participle. But you have the father, the father who sees. And then you have the prophet, the who comes, right? Or the coming one. And we would say in smooth English, the prophet who comes. But it actually means the prophet, the one who is coming. Okay, that's what it means. We have ha-artar, which is we have the bread and the living, which is we call the living bread. And hudor zone. Notice there's no alpha, no article, but that is still living water. We might even say the living water, depending on the context, even if it doesn't have an article. So first, we're looking at a few uses of the participle. One of them is attributive use. Just like it's an adjective. It's a verbal adjective. It can give its an attribute to a substantive. It would do it typically with an article, noun, let's say, article participle. That's the common way of doing it. It shouldn't be a surprise or a shock since we had that with adjectives. Are we good with that so far? Attributive use of the participle. It's doing more than saying holy. It's saying something like the Holy One, if it was a participle, or the seeing one, or the Father who sees. So it's giving some action in its attribute because it's verbal in nature.
So when we would do our own smoothing translation, we would just translate it the best grammatically as we could,
Yes.
as opposed to just forcing the ing version in.
Correct. Yeah, the ing is just to tip you off. Hey, you've got a participle. Pay attention. But I actually give you many of the words to use to translate it depending on the tense and its usage right in that chart. So I've removed a lot of the wonder on that because there's too much wonder. People were coming out of elementary Greek, for instance, and even intermediate Greek, not knowing how to, and other schools too, not knowing how to do a participle. They come across a participle and they're like, oh my gosh, their life just ended and they stopped doing Greek, right? So that's where Greek life ended. I'm hoping this helps out so you can actually work on it. Substantival use. Just like an adjective that's used as substantive, so can a participle. And it's done a lot. I think oh yeah, they said it in here. How often participles are used at the very beginning? It's a what did it say here? Would it say it here or somewhere else? We're to a variety of ways. Did I read it here or somewhere else? Something like there's so many participles, it's like the equivalent to like one for almost every verse or in scripture. I mean, there's a lot of participles, folks. Okay. I forgot the count, but it's a lot. So substantival 187. It functions as a noun. The article, when present, hint, it could be substantival without the article. It usually has the article, but that's not always the case. Anyway, occurs directly in front of the participle, which modifies an unexpressed noun or pronoun. Thus, a substantival participle is really an attributive participle whose modified noun is unexpressed, and so you supply it. Notice ha blepon. It would be the one who sees. All right, or the seeing man, or the man who sees, since it's masculine. You could do that. Or ha ergomenos, the one who comes. Notice menos, that's passive, right? Notice here has zone, the one who lives. So it's the living one, or the one who lives.
So for ergomenos, is that because it's
right? My verb comes from erkomai,
my
which is a deponent, but yeah, an my verb, which has a present translation, even if passive form. Right. Middle passive form. But yeah. Ha poion, the one who does. Ha baptizon, the one who baptizes. Okay. So notice there's multiple words in there. These are not always translated like this. You're going to see why. There's a kicker coming at the end here, okay? And but that's okay. And then there's adverbial use, okay? We're going to go over this, and then we're going to go back to my chart here to help out. Yeah. All right. With the adverbial use, the participle is in the predicate position, meaning that the article is not directly in front of the participle, although the most common use involves a temporal focus. There are several uses of adverbial participle, sorry. With a present tense form, temporal participle, the action of participle often occurs at the same time. Okay, contemporary. Okay, so I'm going to put, you know what? I'm going to put this, it's going to be easier for me to do it this way. All right, I think it's going to be easier. Let me just introduce you to what they're saying. They're talking about with adverbial use, they're talking about the time of the participle, the time of the action. A present tense participle does not mean present tense like you've thought of before. All of that goes out the window. Okay? Most of it goes out the window. Here's what you need to know. Right here. I've stated it. It's just stated. Oops, wrong one. Right here. When you have a present tense participle, parts come in one of four tenses. The participle's action is typically like that little wiggle word. Anyway, typically concurrent with the action of the main verb. What does that mean? Follow carefully. If you have an aorist tense verb, past tense, the action of the participle is concurrent with the main verb, past tense. So you have to, in order to translate the participle accurately, you must know how the main verb is working with for an adverbial participle, especially. Okay. If it's an aorist participle, the action is typically prior to the action of the main verb. If you have a present tense verb with an aorist tense participle, the participle's action occurred before the present tense verb. You must translate accordingly. The one who went walking on the beach is speaking. Notice, or I should say the one who walked on the beach. That would be an aorist tense. The one who walked on the beach is speaking. So the person is speaking present tense, but that's you have an aorist tense participle. You're saying the one who did this, past, boom, aorist, that is the one speaking. If you have a future tense verb and an aorist participle, the one who is trusting in the Lord will be saved. The one trusting in the Lord is before the future tense verb. So you have to translate that tense-wise prior to the tense of the main verb. The perfect tense participle is also antecedent to the action of the main verb. So they're really very similarly translated in reference to the main verb. You cannot translate a participle properly without knowing the main verb in reference to it. And you must go by, generally, usually, this formula here. That's where we're going. That's the kicker. This is what throws people off the most. Okay. All right. So talk to me. How we doing? We doing all right? You mad at me? You hate me? Come on. If you hate me, you have to do it with an ing ending somehow. All right. Yeah. So just do it in a participial form. So all right.
Guess the
So is
question
it
is, how do
safe
we
to
tell
say-
which tense it's in by the word? And
What's that?
I guess next is like, how do we tell which tense it's in by the spelling of the word?
Well, the tense is the tense of which of the
Of
Greek.
the participle.
Well, it comes. Remember, it comes with tense. Tense, voice, mood is participle. It has its own tense, but tense for a participle means this, not what you learned before. So a present tense participle means, hey, this action occurred with the main verb. When did the main verb occur? Well, past tense. Okay, it occurred past tense with it. Concurrent.
Oh, but the book's only giving us the present so far.
Correct.
So far. Okay, so there's gonna
Yeah, they're doing present tense. I'm trying to show you what's a little bit bigger picture. Yeah. Okay. So that's the biggest kicker part. So what we have is we have all these pieces for the participle puzzle that are working together at the same time. And so it's hard to talk about one without reference to the other, but we have to. Now we're going to talk about usage. We talked about it here a little bit. Attributive use, substantival, and then adverbial. But I needed to tell you about how tenses are translated, especially for the adverbial, first. But now I'm going to go back to, I know I know we're jumping around, but that's just the nature of the beast. It makes it difficult. You're going to get it. It's all right. So I've provided examples for you. You need to know how the participle is being used in order to be able to know how to translate it properly. Determining how a participle is used. You want to ask, is there an article preceding the participle that matches it in gender, number, and case? There's two possible answers. Yes, no. That's it. All right. We are on the yes side right now, okay? If there is an article preceding the participle that matches that participle in gender, number, and case, the next question you must ask is the following. Is there a noun or pronoun which agrees with, that could be a demonstrative pronoun, any pronoun. Is there a noun or a pronoun which agrees with the participle in gender, number, and case? Two possible answers. Yes, no. If yes, it looks like you have an attributive use. Okay? Because you'll have article participle, article noun, or article noun, article participle, and they all match gender, number, case, just like these examples. Article participle noun matching gender, number, case, or article noun, article participle matching gender, number, case. Okay? If the answer is no, that means in this case, anthropos or ha anthropos aren't there. It's just hologon. Then you have what most likely the substantival use, where it's being used as a substantive. And when you translate it as a substantive, you typically would translate it the one or the one for singular or the ones plural, who or which are doing this. The ones who are preaching, the ones who are walking, the one who baptized. Okay, or those who are believing. You can do those sometimes too, but that's possible. Those who are believing, or those who believe. That type of thing. So you have to come up with a phrase and translate it based on the tense and voice consistent with the main verb. Okay? All right. Now, if it's determining a participle use, if there is no article before it, so you just have the participle and it's not immediately not preceded by an article matching gender number case, skip everything except for if it's no, skip everything and come down to here. We're gonna go over these other ones later, okay? Then you probably have an adverbial participle, and if it's present tense, you translate adverbial ones while as, which gives the ongoing present concurrent with the main verb. If it's an aorist tense verb or perfect tense, when or after. If you do a future tense, you translate before. Of course, just because it doesn't have an article doesn't mean it's adverbial. It usually is. It could also be attributive or substantival. Fun times. So, so yes, it could be either one of these over here too, but the lion's share of them will be right here, adverbial. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through translating these. I'm going to come back to this is gold here. Okay. Let's look at this. Here we have ha anthropos, and this masculine nominative singular, article and noun. All right. Then we have a masculine nominative singular article again. Lagon, well, look at that. We have a present active participle, PAP, masculine singular nominative. It matches gender, number, and case. And then the ta-ta, these things, or things, okay? And then, what is that?
These.
It's a right, a pronoun, demonstrative. Yeah, I think a demonstrative pronoun. So it's these things. Is it yeah. And there it is, things. So it's plural. Here we are. So this is well, it says gnosko, but it says this saying here, but it should be knowing. Gnosko is knowledge. The Lord. Possible who is saying these things. Oh, there it is, knows. Knows the Lord. This is saying. Goes right there. Notice the apostle who is okay. Well, I'm going to jump ahead. What we do is we follow information. It works together for the translation. Using the flow chart, does the participle have an article preceding it? The answer is yes. So that's going to be either attributive or substantival. But we look at it and say, hey, does it match something in gender, or does it match a noun gender number case? Yes. Bam. That is attributive use. Keywords are who, which, that are keywords for translating. The tense of the main verb is present tense. Tense of the participle is present tense. That means the action of the participle is happening at the same time as the verb. So what you could do is you could say you could don't translate this. That is, don't translate the participle plus its object. The apostle knows the Lord. That's what it's saying. Now you want to add in the participle. The apostle who, or the one who knows these things, or who saying the apostle who is saying these things knows the Lord. This right here, all of that is the participle phrase, because tuta is in there too. And tuta, let me show you this here. For hopefully a little bit Hopefully this clears up. Hopefully this helps. We'll see. Maybe I'll just push everybody right over the edge. When you have a participle used as a substantive or this is attributive. I'm getting ahead of myself. So we have hol apostles, hol logon. Here we go. Should be just straight under. Let me double check on that. Oh, no. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. What was it again? Ha apostolos, hologon, ha apostolos, sorry. It would be this straight down because it's verbal. Ha logon. Okay. So that is how you translate, how you diagram the apostle, the one who is saying these things or who is saying these things. Up top.
Just looked that up too. It is a demonstrative pronoun. It's the nominative neuter, which that's
Or just things.
because you add the things in there, supply the things. Word
Yes.
in English.
Yes, in
Oh.
English, saying things, these things. Yeah, we actually have to supply the word these as well in English. Yes.
Wow. Great.
Kind of shoots the hole in that hole. I want a word literal. No, you don't. No, you don't, you really don't. It would be the apostle, the saying things, knows the Lord. What? So yeah, don't ask for that. Don't stop asking for it. So they can have participles can have direct objects.
Oh.
Participles can have subjects. Not this one. Participles can take prepositional phrases. Adjectives can modify them. Other participles can modify them. Participles can be the direct object of a verb, the subject of a verb. Let's look at the next here. Actually, I want us to look at the next one down, which would be the substantival use. Okay. All right. Let me see here. So, yeah. Yep. Look at the one down the list here, okay? Not to the right, but down. Here we have another, to keep it simple, present active participle, masculine singular nominative, hologon, ta. Now, the question is, okay, lexical form, lego, basic ing meaning saying. Using the flow chart, we need to find out how it's being used. So what we'll do, one second, I need to switch here for people online. So what we'll do, come on. Does that work for you guys? You guys, everybody online see this right here? Did it work? Okay, because I switched something and it took. Okay, so what we do here is we have so much. These things are all in my way. I have things in my way here. Come on, come on, yeah. Let's do that. We do our. Where'd it go? Oh, what happened to my?
We just scroll up.
Oh, scroll. Yeah. I thought I had it over there too. Here we go. You're right. Determining how to use a participle. Here we are. Does it have an article? Yes or no? And if it does it match gender, number, case, and noun or not? And so down here, there's no noun that matches this gender, number, and case. So it's not the attributive use. It's going to be the substantival use. It is the noun. In this case, it's nominative, so it's going to be the subject. So we learned the substantival use. Key words for translate that I just use the one who, the man who, the men who, singular plural, the woman or the women, singular plural, who is saying, who are saying, because it's present tense. Well, the participle is present tense, but the main verb is present tense, so it's going to be occurring concurrently. It's active voice. We have the one who is saying these things knows the Lord. Those three words in Greek are translated the one who is saying these things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words for two. Okay. All right. A word little translation would be the saying things knows the Lord. So let's not do that. We have to say the one who is saying these things. Since this is present tense, the knowing, and this is present tense, the present tense nature of the participle matches concurrent with, action with the present tense of the verb. If the verb was aorist, so it was like knew the Lord, the one who said these things knew the Lord. Notice if you change the tense of the participle of the main verb, you change how the participle is translated. The participle is translated based on its tense in relation to the main verb. It has to be in relation to the main verb. So at this point, you have to, I ask here, and you already know it because you parsed it up here. What is the tense of the main verb? It's present tense, or if it's aorist, whatever it might be. Then I remind you, remember the tense of the verb of the participle. Translate the tense of the participle in relation to the tense of the main verb and the voice. Then you translate it here.
I've got a question. I think I misunderstood the chart previously, back up when you have further up, when you were going over that right there. So that what you're saying there is the present, aorist, perfect, future, the words underlined. That's the main verb.
That's no.
No.
Participles.
Oh,
That's all about participles. A present tense participle's action. A present tense participle is concurrent with the action of the main verb. An aorist tense participle's action is typically prior to
okay, so I got
action of the main verb. A perfect tense participle's action is typically prior to the main verb. Okay.
Dr. Crocker, your
Yeah.
computer's about to die.
Oh, thank you. Oh, wait.
sorry. I caused
Thank you. I did not see that. So. Okay. This right here is probably the trickiest part to remember right there. But you know it now. I mean, I have it for you. And I give you translation cues. Okay. Let me diagram this for, oh, I think I have a diagram in here. Of this. And we're skipping adverbial. Remember attributive participle? We just did one. Here's one. Here we have hologon anthropos. These things. So here we have the first attributive position, and there's a second attributive position. The man who is saying these things sees the servant. Okay. There's the translation. And notice that the participle, when it's attributive, this is an attributive participle. When it's attributive, it goes under the noun that it's giving its the substantive that gives its attributes to. Okay. Substantival. Notice here, the substantival goes on a stilt when it's the subject. It goes in the subject slot on a stilt. If it's a direct object, it goes on a stilt in the direct object slot. This stilt means participle, or it could be infinitive, but participle usually. Notice that the participle has its own direct object. The one who is saying these things sees the servant. Right here, the one who is saying these things, hologon tauta, sees the servant. Blepe, here, is third person singular. That fits this. This is singular, masculine nominative. That fits as a subject. It still works as a subject because it matches, like it's consistent with third person singular.
Why go above and not below? Like, why would you not put like they going on there and then have like a bar go down?
Or go down where?
I got almost up.
No, it's fine. No, that's fine. No,
I was thinking of the attributive thing got mixed up.
oh, that's yeah, right. And notice
I was
that,
thinking like
right. Notice the attributive does not have a stilt.
Mhm.
It goes straight down, not angled, straight down. It doesn't go at an angle because it's verbal. Okay, as verbal action, but it's not a subordinate conjunction, so it doesn't go to the right. Straight down and over. Here we have John, the one who baptizes. We say John the Baptist, right? Appeared in the desert. Or maybe John, the one who was baptizing, appeared in the desert because it's aorist. But we treat it like a name, so we say John the Baptist. Substantival, it means you have an article that matches the participle gender number case without matching a noun gender number case. The participle is the noun, it is a substantive, and it could be anywhere. It could be the object of a preposition. So you could have a slanted line for a preposition, line comes out, put a stilt, and a participle goes on that stilt in the object of the preposition spot. I'm telling you, participles go everywhere. Where do they go?
Everywhere.
Thank you. So here's an example of not using Greek words, but to show you. Here we have a participle right here. The participle on a stilt. It could have a direct object. It could even be modified by an adjective or another participle. But it's the object of the preposition. So the object of the preposition means it's being used substantively, and that's where it goes. This participle is being used substantively too. One is the object, the direct object of the verb. The other one is the object of the preposition. So here we go. The one, now here we are. Yeah, the one who is saying, the one who says these things, saying these things, sees the servant with, get that? Those who are sinning. It's plural, so it's the men who are, it's plural masculine, so it's the men who are sinning. It could be those who are sinning, but it's masculine, so it's probably the men who are sinning. Okay. Okay, so talk to me. How are we doing? How are we doing? We doing all right? Participles are like adjective, verbal adjectives, gender, number, and case. All gender, number, and cases. They're also verbal, so they have tense and voice, and they say mood for P for participle. You parse them, you find out all the parts to them, all aspects. And then the first question you want to ask is, as an article, exactly right. First thing you ask after you parse it, right here. Is there an article preceding the directly immediately preceding the participle that matches it in gender, number, and case? Yes or no? If yes, and every single person who does Greek hopes so, because that's really the easy one. I'm going to show you later on something called a periphrastic participle. It's super cool. It's got a fancy name, and it's appropriate because it's like it's a really cool participle, so it deserves its own cool name, right? So
dinosaur era.
yeah, it's a Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Periphrastic.
Yeah.
But at first you're going to be like, how in the world will I ever see that? Oh, you will. They're unique, and it's pretty awesome. So you have a article, yes or no? If yes, you have two main options. The match a noun, gender, number, case. It's attributive. That's easy. It's going to go under it. It could be a direct object. It could be an accusative substantive that it modifies. That's fine. It would go under it if it was the direct object of a verb. It could be matching a noun that's the object of a preposition. That's fine. You diagram the preposition as normal. Under the verb to the left, you put the preposition, a line, you put the noun right after that, and under it, line straight down, participle, modifying that noun. And participles also have their own, or can have their own direct object. They can also have their own subject too, by the way. Anyway, but we're getting to that. So like I'm saying, they're crazy. So it's like the gods were up there going, okay, that's Greek language. What can we do to spice this up? I have an idea. A participle. Oh, that's wicked. I like it. So let me see here. Yeah. The time of action of a participle is determined by what?
The main verb.
The main verb. That's it. That is it, folks. That's it. And for quizzes, it would be probably be really good to be familiar with something like, I don't know, number 2 here. I'm just throwing that out there. So Number one, that'd be a good one too. That'd be a really, really good one. Okay. What's that?
Wonder where that'll show.
Yeah, no idea. No idea. So, actually, I haven't even looked at this week's quiz for you guys. I should probably do that because I have a question on it. But
I thought there was no written.
is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, is that how I introduced it?
Vocabulary and diagram,
Right. Yeah.
if I remember right.
So, I think that's right.
It's still the vocabulary. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think there is.
There.
Oh,
yeah.
It's not just words. It's like-
Oh, there's questions. Oftentimes there can be
Yeah.
questions. So, okay. So for our purposes, and let me do this. I'm gonna look at something real quick here. Yeah. I was reviewing everything, but I forgot to review. Oh, that's right. And next week is just review. I would like you guys to be very familiar with participles. I gave you an additional participle examples for you. And of course you do have the quiz. Vocab quiz. I'm too nice to you. I should probably write quizzes when I'm in an angry mood. You know, it's like when you go to the store hungry, you know, and it's just like everything and it all looks good. I should write quizzes when I'm angry or something like that. You know, that's how I should probably do it. So wait, it's like, okay, I'm gonna make them pay, you know. I remember when somebody said this to me at church. No, I won't do that.
Remember that message you got.
That was for everybody else. No. Yes, I remember that. Let's see here. Okay. Let us look at. Okay. There. Yes. All right. I'm going to talk a little bit about this one over here, the bottom right corner. This is the adverbial use, okay? The adverbial use, it gets diagrammed just for your diagramming pleasure here. Straight under the verb, okay? So it is probably the most common, I think it is the most common type of participle in the New Testament. I read somewhere it's the most common. I think Wallace says that by far. So when it comes to the New Testament, most of them by far will be this other ones. Although you're gonna run across paraphrases. I've run across these other ones that we're talking genitive absolutes and stuff like that. They're everywhere. There's just a lot of them, but this is common. So notice that this participle here, this one here, we got adverbial means it's going to be modifying the verb, but there's a catch, there's a key. While saying these things, notice where it's located. Before ha anthropos. And what gender is this, is logon? Okay. Just before it, it's in reference to ha anthropos. While saying these things, the man sees the slave. So this is a present tense participle with a present tense verb. So while saying these things, while means it's going along with. If the verb was aorist tense, you would still say, while saying these things, the man saw the slave. Because the while in English puts the action of the participle concurrent with the action of the verb. While saying these things, he saw the slave. That's all past tense. While saying these things, the man sees the slave. That's present or concurrent tense. So being careful how you translate these is important. And it goes straight under here. We know it because of where it's located. We know that the lagon tata, which has its own direct object, refers to the man under here. However, if wanted to say, let's say you had a feminine, well, no. How do we know that it's referring to anthropos and not ton dulon? Let's say the lagon tata was further over to the right. How do we know it's referring to the man was saying these things and not the slave?
Because it's nominative.
It's nominative, right? If it was referring to the slave, what case would it be in? Accusative. So the nominative case nature of lagon tells you I'm talking about the man. If actually lagon was the accusative, which would be luanta, then it would be the man sees the slave while he, the slave, is saying these things. So notice how the participle works together, gender, number, and case, to that adverbial one tells you who it's talking about. Hey, I'm with this person. How do you know? We match gender, number, and case. You can't make me about him over there because I don't match gender, number, case. Clear as mud. So it's quite a little bit at once, but that's what's needed for participles. You need to work through each of the pieces and slowly work through this chart. Okay. Now this chart, and we're only working on 3 right now. Determining a participle's usage in the sentence. Does it have an article? Yes or no? For right now, no drops you down to adverbial. Rarely it would be substantival. It may be attributive, usually not. It's almost always adverbial. If it's a yes, you have 1 of 2 options. If it matches a noun, another substantive, gender, number, case, got yourself a attributive one. If you don't, it's a substantive. That's it. And translate the participle according to these guidelines here. All right. That is the Greek participle in a nutshell. Okay.
Seems like a really good chart.
I hope it's beneficial. The chart we had lines on one page to another page, and we couldn't follow. The professor was like, no, I think it goes over here. No, that goes over. No, which page did that go to? And so I thought it was Ray Summers had a chart, but his chart had like half of what mine has. And I'm like, there's got to be a better way. And so I did this chart, and it has many of the uses of a participle. Not all. Okay, not all. So, but all that we care about. Okay. All right. That's it. you have questions, feel free to ask. Next week is review. It's built in intentionally. So you can review the participle, review the chart, the whole thing if you want to, the whole chart. We can work on it and really delve into the participle to get to understand it, because you have a couple more weeks of participles coming, and I want you to do that with as much understanding as possible. Okay. And including diagramming and translation. All right. All right, guys. God bless. Lord, take care of everyone and give them a wonderful, wonderful week. Take care of families, keep them safe and together, close together. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. God bless everybody.
Thank you.
Yes.